This is the titanium 125 Easy Flux Welder, and this video is just on how to set it up because I don't see a lot of information on there on the setup, and the manual I don't think is very good, so I want to try and make a clear video on how to do that. First we're going to take apart this top to take a look at the inside, and this unit will not come with a couple things that you really should have. It doesn't come with the welding wire. It doesn't come with a pair of sheet metal snips because you're constantly going to have to be cutting welding wire out of the contact tip as it comes out. And it doesn't come with an adjustable wrench, which you'll need to undo and reinstall the contact tip. So you should have those along with this. So with that said, let's go ahead and open up the spool of wire. And the thing with the wire is that it gets secured towards the top of the spool like this. Okay, and there's actually a lot of tension on this wire. So here's the tip, if you can kind of see that. There's a lot of tension on this wire. So if you just take it out, pop it off, all these wires are gonna release, and you're gonna have to cut off a bunch of it and not be able to use it because it's not tight onto the spool. So to avoid that, we want to go ahead and start to set this up and then pop this off, and hopefully we can get that fed in there. Now you notice that this is the end tip right here. I don't want to take a chance on undoing it, but this is the end tip. And you'll also notice that in this feed hole here, we want to position this so that it will feed counterclockwise, all right? Because this goes directly in here, as you're going to see, and then this feed counterclockwise will be a smooth feed. So we're actually doing this upside down, if you will, right side up being with this label here. So with that said, take that. We're going to undo the spool knob in the back, and make sure you put this in the order that it comes off. We undo the spool spring and undo the spool plate as well. So put it like so. And then we're going to put this in that aforementioned counterclockwise position here. Then we're going to reinstall the plate. And it's just got a little bit of an angle that, or extension that kind of goes in there. So you see how it kind of fits into that spool there. And then the spring, and then the spool knob. And you got to kind of push the knob into the spring, if you will. And that way it'll tighten. Now when you tighten this, there should be almost no tension, play I should say here. There should be tension. There really shouldn't be much play on this spool. That's probably okay. Now, so we're going to pop this thing off, and we're going to hold the tension on here because we don't want it to unravel, if you will. So this is going to be kind of a delicate dance, if you will. So I'm popping this, and then I'm going to pop this other side. And there we go. Okay, so now I'm holding the tension here, and I'm going to feed this thing through. This little feed hole here. And because this is kind of bunched up, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to snip this, but I'm going to hold it so that it's still taut after I clip the tip of it off, right? Let's get rid of that. And I can already feel it wants to come out, but I don't want it to. So I'll feed it in through here, a little bit at a time. And I'll feed it until I see it just start to poke out. Right there. Okay. So you can see right there it's kind of poking out. So I'm going to release this tensioner, open the arm, and then I'm going to take out this roller knob. And this machine will accept a couple different sizes of wire. Now this happens to be a 0.035, so you see the default here is 0.030. So I'm going to flip it over so that it's on the 0.035 side, if you can see that writing right there. Right? Then I'm going to replace the roller knob here. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more, because we also want to get it in through this hole right there, if you can see that. And so now it's feeding in. So it fed in through this hole and it's feeding into this hole. It's set to 0.035. I'm going to put the arm back, put the tensioner back, give it a little bit of tension to tighten it here. And now it didn't spring apart. So now I'm going to go ahead and feed it. Now what you want to do here is, if you can get this wire, or sorry, this torch cable extended as far as possible, or I should say as straight as possible, that's really going to help the feed, because this welding wire goes all the way here to the torch cable through the end. Now before I actually do that, I'm going to take off the contact tip, because it's a very thin hole that has to go through for the contact tip. So just with a wrench you can unscrew that. So let's go ahead and turn the machine on. And now we're going to, there's a little switch here, it's called a cold feed switch. And when you turn that on, it's automatically going to feed, as you can see, the cable there. And it should feed all the way to the end. So if we go to the end of the torch cable, at some point we should see the wire coming out. Okay, so now the wire's out, and all we got to do is put the contact tip back. And I just give it just maybe a half turn of the wrench. I don't want to tighten it too much. It doesn't need to be that tight. Just to snug it up there. And your stick out on a weld should be maybe about 1/2 inch to 1 inch or so. So you want to cut it right about there. And now you are ready to weld.